So, you want to make a circle just like this? Well, you've come to the right place. Go outside, grab a stick, get some sand, and make a circle. Congratulations, you're now made a circle in caveman times. Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we are back once again. Take a look at how to make this little circle here in our favorite drawing application. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to File and create a new image, 1920 by 1080, just for today's tutorial example. I recommend using something like 2000 by 2000 or 3000 by 3000, but we're going to do 1920 by 1080 today because that's what I do my thumbnails in. We're going to go ahead and go up to the brush selection up here and change our brush to the basic -1 brush, which is just a basic circle brush. And we're going to just bump our size up a little bit and make a nice little, maybe not that big, nice little circle about that big, I suppose. Just something small for today's tutorial. Now you don't want to use black. Black is bad because what you're gonna do is, if we were trying to shade this, you could see that. Let's go ahead and shade this real quick. Let's shade this. Just drop that down a little bit. All right, so we're gonna shade the backhand side of this so that it's a little bit darker. Let's go ahead and do that now. Yeah, looks great. Absolutely, yeah. Wonderful. So as you can see, we can't shade black because it's black. You can't shade it. You can only highlight black. So let's never ever use solid black. You only want to use something kind of like black. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this color up here, and we're gonna add a little bit of brightness to this, a little bit of saturation, and I'm gonna bring it to the blue area as well. So we're gonna bump this up about maybe like right there-ish, right? About right there. You have a nice little color. Hit OK on that, and then we'll create a new circle once again. All right, there we go. Looks pretty good. A little bit more purple than the example that I had, but you know what? Listen, it's fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab another color, and this is going to be a shading color. So I'm going to drag this down. Like I said, you never ever want to shade with black either. So I'm not going to shade with black. I'm going to shade with a darker color like this, about right there, I suppose. A little bit of saturation. I'm going to also shift the hue a little bit because I don't want this to be more like cold. I want it to be a little bit more warm, so I'm gonna pull it to the more purplish, bluish pink over here, and then grab, hit that OK, and now we can shade with this. So I'm gonna change our brush real quick to the airbrush, which is this bad boy right here, and now we can shade with that, as you can see, because it's very, very soft brush. You always want to shade with a soft brush. Now, if we just go ahead and shade with this, as you can see, we're gonna paint over everything, which is not what I want. So I'm gonna hit Control-Z to undo that. And we're going to right-click the layer and then hit, what was I doing? Oh, yes. We're going to add new group, quick clipping group. Hit OK on that. Now, you can see we have two layers, which is the actual circle layer, and then our mask layer, which is the layer we're going to paint on. So we're going to go ahead and just, real quick, I'm just going to tap some color in there on the bottom right-hand side. So pretend that there's a light source, like the sun. Pretend the sun is up. Let me just move that on there. Pretend the sun is up here, right? And it's facing like that way. It's coming down from the top left. So it's like, oh, sun, yes, I'm covering the ball. Oh, sun, there's so much sun. Yes. Oh, it's a bright day. Hoo-hoo, yes. Wow. Amazing. Oh, radiation. Oh, sunscreen. SPF 40. All right. So you can see that's where all the sun is pretty much directly touching. So this is going to be the brightest area of the ball. And of course, like this technique works for, like I said, it works for everything. You just got to keep in mind that everything is not a circle. So obviously we're trying to make this round because it's a circle. So you're going to keep in mind that the sun's not just going to hit this area. It's going to hit other areas because the ball is round. But the issue is it's going to have a very steady fall off. So it's going to kind of, be like, oh, a lot of sun here, a little bit less sun here, a little bit less sun. And it's going to fade all the way until there's just no more sun. So it's going to be like this a little bit, so there's like more sun up this way, and then it's gonna like fade off because the sun is less back on the backhand side. Now, because there's still gonna be sunlight that's hitting this because it's reflecting off of the ground, it's reflecting off of a car, off the street, off of the beach, off whatever this ball is in, it's still gonna have a little bit of sun back here, which is why it shouldn't be solid black, because pretty much nothing is solid black. Even hair is like very, very dark gray. It's not actually black, it just looks black, depending. But We can go ahead and get rid of this layer now because that's terrible. Now we can go ahead and do the highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click this layer mask we had for the shading, and then we're going to go ahead and hit duplicate and then hit delete because I don't want two of them. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and just really quickly go to the eraser by hitting this little button right there, and then just erase a little bit of that shading so it makes it a little bit softer. Looks good. I'm also going to drop the opacity down as well because it's a little too dark. There we go. Looks good. All right, now with the copy of the layer mask here, the copy of the peace treaty. We're going to go ahead and hit undo the eraser and grab a nice yellowish color because, like I said, this is the sun. So we're going to get a nice bright, almost white, but never actually white, almost white yellowish color. Hit OK on that. And now we can go ahead and do a little bit of shading. I'm going to shade only the top edge, only this top edge where the sun is directly hitting the sphere. As you can see, I'm just clicking. I'm not clicking and dragging. I'm not doing that. I'm just clicking, just tapping it in. As you can see, that this looks much different than this. So yeah, we're gonna try and not do that, and we're gonna do this instead because it's much more soft and much more natural. So just click in. Like I said, you don't really even need a tablet to do shading in this technique with this technique. Yeah, so that looks good. But now you can see it looks kind of flat. Like this center piece looks kind of flat. It doesn't look very round. It looks kind of like somebody dented the ball. We'll fix that in a moment. So you can see I'm gonna put this from normal to overlay, and now you can see it's much more soft, much more natural. I'm going to go ahead and turn the opacity down a little bit as well so it kind of fits in a little bit more. We can also put this on screen depending on what vibe and what tone you're going for. I'm going to leave this one on overlay though. So I'm going to leave that on overlay just somewhere around like 68, 69, 70-ish. Numbers don't matter, just whatever looks good, of course. We're going to right click this layer once again. No. We're going to right click this layer once again, hit duplicate, hit delete. Now we're going to go ahead and just in the center of this now. So I'm actually going to turn this up and then turn this to normal so we can see what I'm doing. And then we're going to do something like this. So the whole center, except for the bottom half, of course, all of that's going to be in some shading a little bit. So I'm going to drop the opacity down, and we're going to turn this mode to overlay once again. And as you can see, what we need to do now, actually, is I'm going to actually drop the opacity of this main one we did again because it's too bright. So I'm going to somewhere around 20-ish, something like that, I suppose. Looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to also drop the opacity of the shading, the shadow as well. There we go. All right, there. Cool. So now we have this big spotlight right there, which looks much better than that, of course. So now what we're going to do is the last thing that I want to do is create a nice little rim light on the bottom half of this. Because like I said, there's still going to be light on the bottom half. There's still going to be light, and whatever the ground is, it'll reflect. Of course, more things, different materials reflect different ways, but for a general basis, there's still going to be a little bit of reflection. So I'm going to right-click this layer once again, hit duplicate, delete. It's just a simple way of getting a new mask layer instead of having to add one. All right, so I'm going to change the size down to about 100, 150, 200. Yeah, 200, something like that. And then we're just going to go around the bottom half here. So, all right. And now we can go ahead and bump our size up and then hit the eraser on and then just erase a little bit of that I don't want. Soften it up a little bit on the edges as well. There we go. All right, looks good. I'm going to drop the opacity once again. Yeah, I'm going to drop the opacity a little bit. All right, cool. So that looks really good. I like it. I enjoy it. And as you can see, we have a very nice sphere here. Now, you always want to work, I can't believe I just did that, but you always want to work in something in the color that's not, with the background color that isn't white. So I'm going to unlock that, and then we're going to go to filters, adjust, HSV adjustment, and then just drag this to about halfway. You don't want to work with black, and you don't want to work with white. You want to work somewhere in between, a nice gray color, so you can see what's going on, what you're doing. Hit OK on that. All right. And now, just because I have a little bit of time, I'm going to add a new layer real quick. And then we're going to create a little bit of a shadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like this. It's gonna be like a darkish blue color like that. Hit OK. I'm gonna just click a couple times in this general direction like this, right? Like that. And then we're gonna grab this button, this bad boy. Grab this top one and hold down Shift. I'm sorry, hold down Control rather. Sorry. Same thing with this. Grab that. Hold down Control. And kind of spread it out like that. Have a nice little shadow. Move that right there. I'm going to drop the opacity down and put this on maybe overlay. Yeah, overlay. Looks good. Cool. So that is our shading tutorial. Very basic technique. It's very, very simple, very easy to do though. Very, very basic, very fun. Hope you learned something new today. We're going to be coming up with a lot more tutorials like this in the future as well. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. That's our ball. Hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. But until then, Bye-bye.